after 6 long years. Please put your hands together and give it up for Marion C. Mart.
We are the
Marion C. S.M.A.R.T team, students making ambitious, revolutionary transformations.
We accepted Janara Nirenberg's challenge to remove the stigma from mental health by creating safe spaces for people to speak freely.
And we are a circle, not a pyramid.
We can't break the stigma of mental health until we understand the outside forces that damage our communities.
Our logo contains our acronym along with 8 arrows going upward as we strive to help our community move forward.
Here's our brain. Mental health is an everyday thing, thus it consists of 365 realities for every day. S.M.A.R.T's goal is to spearhead a cultural revolution where we remove the stigma from mental health by educating ourselves, our community, and our political leaders on steps we need to take in order to provide more equity for people to self-actualize.
Throughout our 8-week journey, we realized that mental health is about relationships, education, safe spaces, and understanding systems.
When we surveyed our community, we realized that less than 50% knew where their mental health resources were.
We noticed 2 trends that was affecting our community's mental health.
Abuse and racism. These are the transformations we went through to further understand our community. The Overground Railroad is an organization created so that the asylum seekers can get refuge.
We continue to educate ourselves on the underserved with the homeless.
We work with Crossroads, an organization that works to provoke a sense of social justice through urban retreats.
With Crossroads, we went to St. John's Day Center to help with men experiencing homelessness.
Kentucky Refugee Ministries.
The St. Vincent de Paul's Open Hand Kitchen.
And the Christy Love Foundation, which is a foundation to help victims who fall into sex trafficking.
And the Healing Place for Women, where we saw the stigma of addiction being broken.
Together with Crossroads, we created a secular retreat that focused on the inequities of our society. And on March 1st, we held an event talking about these inequities, linking the ties between mental health and social justice.
We had TED Talks, poetry, music, and community meditation, where we also raised over $600 in donations.
We built relationships with legislators to influence having systems and laws that damage our communities.
At an LGBT fairness rally held at the Capitol, we talked with legislators about mental health and LGBT rights, with legislators such as Maria Sorolis,
Denise Harper Angel,
Lisa Wilner,
Morgan McGarvey,
Charles Booker,
and Attica Scott.
At this rally, we performed personal pieces talking about how our sexuality influences our mental health.
and our overall mission was to pass a fairness law in all the counties of Kentucky.
I emailed 142 legislators to inform them about the mental health crisis in the Black community. Representative Booker, Scott, Wilner, and Senator McGarvey agreed to partner with us to create a bill to improve the African curriculum so that we can know the history before slavery.
From there, we focused on our immediate school community and the Okolona area.
Our Safe Spaces journey began here, painting inspirational messages on boards that will later be put around our school.
Positive affirmations help build a climate of safe spaces,
to which now these boards are placed above our gym doors.
These are some of the paintings we created in our girls' and boys' restrooms that include positive messages, affirming murals, and the suicide prevention hotline.
We also hosted an in-school forum for all 2,000 plus students as more, as well as an after-school session for all family, community members, and political leaders that showcase mental health and how we can help on this by sharing our personal experiences.
Poet Hannah Drake emceed with me that night and unveiled a new piece. And later on in the night, more students joined the stage to break their stigma and share their stories. This is an intergenerational movement.
On April 8th and 9th, we collaborated with Humanity 360 to directly impact 350 students, grades 6 through 12.
We asked if kids felt better, could focus better, and if they could use these tools in the long run, and the overwhelming response was yes.
We also created a social media video series that educated students on how to make social media a safe space for everyone to use.
We also started a social media video and photo series that put our faces next to the most prevalent mental illnesses within our community, breaking stigmas by raising awareness. Break the stigma! And this is also my personal story on how I witnessed the shooting at Olive Garden.
One of our long-lasting goals is to build a community center designed to meet our unique Maslow needs of our diverse community.
We also had a meeting with Councilman James Peden to discuss what we needed to do in order to build our SMART Center.
These are the blueprints I designed, and here are some of the services that will be provided.
Daycare,
Laundry,
ESL classes,
Tutoring, and community theater.
And yoga.
By utilizing the relationships that we have formed, our SMART Center and our team will be a 501c nonprofit organization.
To build the SMART Center, we partnered with
Time. Sorry. Y'all give it up for Marion Seymour! All right, Marion Seymour, you got 3 minutes with the judges.
Bam, that was a lot.
yeah.
Thank you.
Can you put it in a nutshell? What are you guys doing? Because there was a lot going up on that screen, and I was trying to keep up.
So we believe that mental health is a multifaceted issue. So that we took a multifaceted approach through relationships, safe spaces, education, and being connected with our political leaders.
We were trying to educate ourselves and others about the things that directly impact our community, so we took on those big categories.
So the SMART Center, though, is your main outcome and product, right?
Yes.
So can you talk a little bit more about that? What's going to go on there, and what you want the outcome of that to be?
So our SMART Center is our plan for longevity. That's going to be a building which is not going to be easy to build within a short amount of time. So what we're looking to do is, on April 27th, we're hosting a Joy Jam that will provide all the services of the building. It's our building without the building with our national partners, Humanity 360. Everyone's invited to it. It's a public event at S.M.A.R.T. And basically, it'll just showcase everything that's going to be in the building.
And we also are getting grants that we have received notice from that we are getting in the future, so we are going to hold that meeting with them to receive those grants as well.
Why do you think changing policy in Frankfurt is important?
You have to start from the top up, or well, I guess from the top down, because these are the laws that are directly impacting all of us, whether we know them or not. So by having these laws that are in place kind of to shut us down before we even get our start, how are we supposed to, I'm going to hand this to you.
I believe that our legislator, when we see people like us in there, they can make decisions on our behalf, and that's what it's supposed to be. We are the people. We are represented by the people. And so us getting our issues into Congress, into our representative, especially here in Kentucky, having them hear our voices, it not only gives us a voice, it gives our community a voice, and it makes sure that the laws that are being passed are what we care about and that we're being represented there. And that's community-wide, statewide, and we actually have a bill that Sarai can talk about.
The bill is to, well, first off, it's about the African curriculum, how it isn't, it isn't adequate enough because it also doesn't teach the history before slavery. So I would, my people, African Americans don't really know where they come from. So the bill is supposed to, help you learn identity so it can help African Americans' mental health.
As well, pinpointing that statement, Charles Booker gave us advice to go before our committee, so we are scheduling a committee meeting mid-May, I believe, and we're going to schedule that for next week, so we do have that coming up as well.
One of our big plans, as you saw, was education. We're not just educating ourselves, we're educating our political leaders because they need to know who they're representing. I know, being a high school student and an African-American male, most of my peers don't know anything besides federal court. They don't know that we have local representatives, people that actually care about us. They don't see them in the communities. So by us partnering with Charles Booker, Attica Scott, Morgan McGarvey, this is showing my peers what it actually is. We're educating everyone so we can have a better world and a better place to live in.
So one more question, judges.
How are you going to pay for the building? And how much is it going to cost?
As far as the building goes, we're a nonprofit, so we're getting funding, getting grants as well. And then to talk about how much it's going to cost, you can go this way.
So for the cost of it, right now we're in the process of getting the resources to actually physically build this building. We do have grants, as we said before, but we're—
How much?
How much?
That hasn't been discussed yet, since we are going to have a meeting that's going to hold all this discussions on how much we are going to have for the building.
But it's up to $15,000 when we are going to itemize it, that we can have a $15,000 grant. And we're not trying to immediately build a building. This is a 10-year plan, obviously, but we're trying to get our roots started small. There's a building actually not even down the street from us that we've looked into and are trying to see if that's a space that's rentable. And so even getting these small beginnings, even moving to a bigger space, kind of getting other people involved in that is where we're starting, getting those resources, seeing where our community is, and then going from there.
There we go. That's the detail we need. Thank
All
you.
right, y'all give it up for Marion C.